this is Stampy, and welcome to the behind the scenes for a video, which I don't yet know the name of, but you probably do. Basically, this is going to be my crowd-sourced Stampy short video. So the inspiration for this video is, what was it called again? I had to look up the name of it. So yeah, it's an old Aardman animation, which I used to watch as a child. So I had like a VHS compilation of Aardman animations. Basically, Aardman are the people who make Wallace and Gromit and Chicken Run and Shaun the Sheep. But they've been making animated videos for a very long time. And I had a video which was all of these old animations. And there was one called Conversation Piece. And what I believe the story is for how this video was made is basically they took recordings of an office. I don't know if it was their office. I think it was another office. Basically just recorded people having normal everyday conversations. And then they took those conversations and they animated to those conversations. So rather than having a script or kind of knowing that they're performing, they were just kind of doing animations based on everyday conversations. And I always thought that was a very interesting idea. And I always think there's something that, you know, you could do more with. And I like the idea of doing that bit in Minecraft. But I never really had an idea like where to get these recordings from and how to make it funny in Minecraft. And then I had the idea, maybe we do it a little bit more specific and directed. And I asked people to send clips, but they don't know what the overall topic and theme of the video is going to be. So I had the idea to do it as a job interview where probably I will play the character of the person giving the interview. I will give them the questions. The people answering the questions will know what the question is, but they won't know what job they're interviewing for or anything else about what the storyline of the video is. And then, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the actual video, go watch that first, by the way. Spoiler alert, the twist is that they're actually interviewing to become the next interviewer, and almost being like an endless cycle of they're just trying to get the job, being the person to get the next person to get the job, to be the next person to get the job. But that's not really the point. That's kind of just I needed a nice ending, a way to wrap it all up. I don't even know exactly how it's going to end and how I'm going to choose someone to get the job or get more voice lines from them. There's a lot of stuff that I don't know about, and I won't know about until I get everyone's audio. So this is going to be a tricky one, because I need some way for people to send me a bunch of commentary. So I'm going to have to set up some sort of email or Dropbox or some way for people to be able to do that. And I'm going to need to sift through it. There's going to be very varying types of quality and audio files and stuff. So this one's going to be a lot of work, I can already tell. But I think if I'm able to pull it off and people get the excitement of the possibility of being in the video, and there will be some kind of spontaneous funny moments that will pop up where it couldn't really happen if it was scripted. I think the potential is very high for this one, but it's almost out of my control for how good it ends up being. And I think this might be one where like the story of how the video was made and the fact that people didn't know what they were kind of recording the voice lines for ends up being almost as entertaining as the final video needs to be. So yeah, this is not only the point where I'd start writing a script, but really I need to plan the logistics first, and then also kind of come up with just the few questions that are going to be asked to people. So I'm going to work on that now, and then yeah, we'll see whatever I think is going to be the best way for me to go about this. Okay, I've now basically written the script up until the point where I don't know exactly how it's going to be, because I need to wait for what people send in. So the idea, as I said, is it's going to loop. So the idea is they're interviewing to find out who's going to be the next interviewer. And I want to kind of lightly set that up at the beginning of the video, that it is obvious that it's going to be a loop, but I don't want to kind of people to guess or for it to be given away. So the idea I have is the interviewer, who I've named Patrick because I had to pick a name, is going to be walking through the office, and then there's going to be another character called Bill, and Bill's going to be a bit like, oi, 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 and he's going to be like, hey, first day on the job. And then Patrick goes, sure is, thanks again for the opportunity. So the idea is that Bill was the person who interviewed Patrick. So that's kind of the way it's gonna, like, so having Bill helps me set up later on when Patrick kind of takes Bill's position when the new person gets hired. So Bill says, don't mention it. Well, you know where the interview room is. And then Patrick says, sure do. See you around, Bill. And then Patrick goes into the room and closes the door. Then as the door closes, because obviously in Minecraft doors don't close, they're open and then closed. As the doors shut, there's going to have text on the screen that says interview room. And I'm thinking of calling the video interview room, which I think is quite like I was thinking of calling it interview or the interview, but there's a film called The Interview, and I think that interview room just works quite nice. And then it will just be Patrick in there, and he's going to be like, right, let's do this. Send the first one in, please. And then we're off. Then we're going. Then that's when it's going to be using the dialogue from everyone that has sent it in. And so the questions I wrote out is, hello, my name is Patrick, and I will be conducting the interview. Please relax and introduce yourself. And then what made you interested in this position? Do you have any key skills that you think will help while working here? I might play around with the wording on some of these. What do you believe are your greatest? What do you believe to be your greatest weakness? Why did you leave your last job? And do you have any questions for me? I thought I want to leave them all like quite open questions to allow people to be creative and funny and silly. If I kind of says like, are you looking forward to working here? Then they can all go like, yes, or yeah, I really am, or no, you know. But if I say like, you know, do you have any questions for me? People can come up with anything. And of course, like I can record as many lines for Patrick. As long as I voice Patrick, I can say, do you have any questions for me? And they might say, do you like blancmange? And then I can answer. I can record as much extra dialogue as I need. I just obviously can't get extra dialogue from the other people. And then the idea is I'm just going to genuinely, almost like an actual interview, I guess more of an audition. I'm going to actually pick someone that I think was either especially funny or just like really good at voice acting or someone that stands out in some way. And then I'm going to message them back and say like, hey, can you record some extra lines? Where I'm going to have Patrick say, I'm happy to say that you got the job and you can start tomorrow. Congratulations. And then they're going to go, yippee. Then it's going to fade to black, which kind of represents the passing of time, fade back in. And then it's going to repeat with almost the same shot as the beginning of the film with this new person arriving. And then this time it's going to be Patrick saying, hey, first day on the job, you know where the room is. And so that kind of explains why Bill says, you know where the room is, because the idea is that, well, of course he knows where the room is, because only yesterday he was the one doing the interview. And then this new person goes in, door closes, and then that's where the credits are going to roll on the back of the door, is the idea. And I might have, like, quiet in the background voices of the next interviews going on. Might be like a little funny Easter egg, depending on whether that works out. So I think I'm pretty happy with that general setup. As I said, I just need to polish up the questions a little bit, and I might even word them slightly differently in what I ask people to answer to how I wrote them. For example, at the beginning I say like, hello, my name is Patrick and I will be conducting the interview. Please relax and introduce yourself. I probably won't write all of that. I'll probably just say introduce yourself for people because they don't need all the extra fluff. But I also might just give a bit of extra information like the person interviewing you is called Patrick and stuff, just in case people want to include that in. So yeah, as I said, pretty happy with that. So now I need to kind of write up the rules and almost plan the script for my video where I'm inviting people to send clips and then set up all the email and stuff. So that's what I'm going to do now. Right then, the cat's out the bag, so to speak. Submissions are coming in. So I recorded the video. It's quite difficult because I wanted the video to be as compact as possible, just to make it shareable and so people can easily kind of like get an idea of what it is. But I also wanted quite a lot of the information to be actually in the video because I went in more detail in the description, but people are sometimes a bit lazy and they don't want to read, and if you talk to them, often they'll listen a little bit better than reading through it all. But yeah, I put out the email. Submissions are coming in, so it's been up for 17 minutes, and I have 54 submissions already. Like, I gotta be totally honest. Like, the fact that my video only went up like that short ago, like, I can kind of assume that probably most of these early submissions won't be the best quality, simply because to come up with something really funny and unique often takes a bit more time. And I feel like these are just trying to get in quick, and so they might have just pressed record and just done something. So I don't know what they're going to be like. I wanted to make sure that people only emailed with their submissions, but I knew people wouldn't. Like, the first email is just like, hey, I'm a huge fan, smiley face, which is really nice, but if I get hundreds of that every day, that's a lot of emails to go through, which isn't very helpful for this video. So I'm getting a lot of just kind of like general questions through, and Yeah, it's gonna be all sorts. So the quality is gonna really vary. So the way I'm gonna organize through them is I've created some files and I'm kind of doing like a tier ranking system. So there's C tier, which are ones that don't stand out, but they are good enough that they could be included. B tier are ones that are pretty good, pretty funny, ones that I think would fit okay in the video. A tier ones are like ones that stand out for some reason. Maybe they're funny. Maybe they just got really good audio quality, so they'll definitely fit into the video. Like that's going to be the big thing here. I think the thing that's going to make most people, whether they get in the film or not, is their audio quality. And there's no way around that. And I wish everyone was on a level playing field and had the same chance. But like when making the video, I got to mainly think about what the video is going to end up being like. And if the video, like audio quality, is going up and down and it's staticky, or there's noise in the background, or you can hear someone like breathing on the mic, it will sound really horrible. And so I need to make sure the video ends up being good. As much as I would like to include everyone, if I could, I need to be a bit harsh in that way. But A tier ones are ones that sound good, they're funny or interesting, they're probably going to be in the video. And then S tier, which is the top tier, is basically ones that I'm like, wow, okay, that's like amazing. Should make the whole video around them. You know, they're someone who ends up getting the job in the film will be someone in the S tier ranks. There probably won't be many of them, but they're ones I just want to 100% make sure I don't miss out and I'm going to include. So, all right, I'm going to start going through these now. God, we're now up to 70 just from me speaking here. Yeah, and they're going to only start coming in faster and faster and faster. Especially, it's gone up to 80. It's jumping up in intervals of 10. Right, I need to get on this because this is going to be a bit crazy for this first day. But I think it's going to roughly end up being about 2 hours of going through these every day until the video comes out, or at least until I pull the cork. And I knew it was going to be like this because ages ago I did a video where I was taking submissions for songs. And songs are a big thing to write and record. And that had so many submissions. I ended up paying my sister at the time, Nettie, you may know, before she was known as Nettie and doing YouTube. She actually spent days and days and days going through all of the files, kind of doing this sort of tier system to help me go through them, just because I physically couldn't. Like, I just didn't have time. Like, it wasn't even like, oh, I'm too busy. It was like, no, there's not enough time in the day for me to go through them. And obviously, I'm smaller on YouTube now, but because this is a much easier thing to record, so I'm gonna have to be I think quite harsh as I go through these. And if I press play and I hear the quality isn't great straight away, I'm gonna have to like just go through, because otherwise I won't be able to listen to everyone. And I want to make sure that everyone who has submitted at least has a chance and at least has me hearing them. So right, I better get on this. Wish me luck. Already a little bit scared about what I got myself in for. Let's do it. Okay, so first I should mention that Squishy has joined the fight, and she's been going through these with me as well, which has been much needed. Alex has been helping us out as well, giving her opinion on all of the best ones. Yeah, how long would you say? About an hour and a half we can go through them?
An hour, and I just saw that unread 583.
Yeah, so basically they're coming through faster than we can go through them. So I'm averaging probably about 10 entries per minute, I think, at the moment.
I'd say that for me too.
And so by the time we download and listen to them, we're kind of about on track for going just about keeping up, maybe, with it pulling ahead slightly. And that's with both of us going through them. First impressions, even though as I'm doing this, the video's only got up, the quality... Oh, I just farted with my hands.
Yeah, it wasn't his hands. It wasn't his hands.
My hands are just apart. I was just like, oh, that was my hands. Yeah, the quality's been like better than I expected for like how early people have been doing it. Like, this is what I did expect, but the biggest thing has just been audio quality. I'd say like 95% of the reason one isn't selected is because of the audio quality. And it's not even a case of like, oh, they're just using their phone, because like most phones now, the audio quality would be okay for this. But it's people not following the guidelines, like not putting it on a table. People are holding it and handling it, and you just hear it all, or like they're speaking too close and it sounds breathy, or they're too far away. Had some people do it in the garden. You can hear birds singing. Squishy had someone who had a train like go past at like 2, like during it. So that's been something. And then there's been like very similar themes. A lot of people talking about food. A lot of people talking about spiders, And we're not sure why so many people are talking about spiders.
Yeah.
My only guess is because I say, what's your greatest weakness? A lot of people are answering it as your greatest fear. But then even in other questions, people just keep mentioning spiders.
And cheese and potatoes as well.
Yeah.
You hear, I think you must have said something about being random because everyone goes for cheese and potatoes.
Well, I said to be like not too. I said like don't just do a silly voice, like to do something specific. But yeah, I've already got. Well, let me see. So for me, of my little tier list, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 C tier.
I have 11 C's.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 B's.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 7 B's.
Oh, and then I got 1A.
I got 1A as well.
1A as well. So
any S's?
no S's yet. We haven't had our first S, but as I said, it's only been like an hour and a half or so since the video's gone up. So yeah, like we're up to like there's about 600 unread emails now, and the speed we're going through them. But this is the first day. Like the thing is, I want to leave this up for a while because I want someone who has like spent a few days working on it to be able to have time to submit it, and it will slow down with the submissions. Because for a second I was like, should I just private the video now and assume this is going to be more than enough? But I think that like the longer time people have, the higher the quality is going to go. So I want to leave it up. But yeah, first impressions is there's definitely going to be plenty of ones that are going to be good enough to hopefully make a pretty funny video. So let's keep going.
Well done, everyone.
Yeah, thank you everyone.
So
Thank you everyone for submitting. Like it is just such a shame about the audio quality thing because there's some that are really funny, but I just know it'd be hard to listen to in the video or be too jarring and different from the other one. So yeah, other than that, all been good. Okay, it's now the next day, and just in case you didn't notice, that is Alex sleeping with her head poked under the sofa. I didn't realise she was sleeping like that until I turned the camera on. Right, I have really realised now just the problem I've created for myself, which is kind of a good problem, but I really underestimated the amount of submissions I would get. I probably shouldn't have. Like, I thought my channel's meant to be dead now, and no one cares. I really thought that it would be way less. So after I recorded the last clip yesterday, it kept being the case where the submissions were coming in faster than I was able to go through them, and it was getting up to like 1,000 submissions. And in the end, I was like, you know what? I don't know if I'm even going to be able to get through these submissions, let alone with people submitting them like every second. So I turned the video private. I kind of panicked a little bit. And then I was like, it kind of sucks because even though I have enough submissions and I've definitely... hey, puppy, come say hello. Oh, I have a stretch. Like I've definitely got enough submissions that like I could do the video, like, and enough good quality funny ones. But I just feel bad because if someone was at work or school or something as I uploaded that video, or like everyone in Australia, like they'd have just had no chance to enter. So I was kind of between like leaving that video private and just kind of carrying on as I was and just going through all of them. And then I realized like, no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the video public. I'm just going to put in the, like as a pinned comment, which people will hopefully see, just saying like, hey, I'm getting more submissions than is physically possible for me to go through. I'm going to keep going through as many as I can. Like I'm going to spend days and days and days, I don't know, maybe even like a week or so going through these submissions. Like I'm going to do as many as I can, but just bear in mind, you might not get listened to, which just feels horrible. Like, 'cause I hate the idea of like someone putting time and effort into a thing and they didn't even get like a chance. I didn't even see it, but I just don't think like there's another option really. Like that's just kind of the reality of the situation. The fact that I'm kind of basically doing this by myself. I don't have a team going through these or anything. But yeah, I've saved loads of amazing ones. It's just really cool being able to like listen to like my viewers. Because obviously I get feedback in like terms of comments and stuff all the time. So I'm kind of always reading what people are saying. But it's a very different thing when you're actually hearing their voices. It's almost like having an audio comment section, and you can kind of hear people's voices. And it's the best way I've had ever to judge like the average age of my audience now. And I think the fact that I'm doing it now, it's a lot more leaning towards teen and adult than it was before, when it used to be mainly children. And now a lot of those children have grown up. So it is kind of just interesting hearing everyone's voices. And there's so many like repeating themes. So many people have made like the exact same jokes. There's been loads of robots. There's been loads of like posh British men, lots of like Winkleberry the Third, like loads of them, like loads. A lot of animals. A lot of people making the joke about just like, I just need the money to get out of my mum's basement. That has come up like a surprising amount of times. There's just these few same jokes that keep repeating. Just loads of talk about food. Loads of people talking about like tacos and, oh, I heard that you got good lunch here. Oh, I'm just here for the food. Like loads of people making those jokes. And it's kind of funny that like it's completely separate, like given just very basic information, loads of people have come up with very similar things. And there's been like times where I'm like, oh, these are both very, very similar. Like, which one do I pick? And usually it does ultimately end up being just like audio quality is the way I need to decide it. But yeah, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through just as many as I can, try and get everyone to have as much of a fair chance as possible. But I definitely know I got more than enough to make the video. I haven't yet decided who's going to be the lucky winner. Remember, one of these people, assuming I come up with a good one or find a good one, is going to be someone who is going to get the job of being the next interviewer, I guess. So I haven't picked that person yet. So hopefully they're still out there and I'm going to find them. I decided to have a little bit of a break from going through all of the submissions. I've probably been doing it today. I think I've been doing it for about 7 hours, and then I probably did it for about 4 hours the day before, maybe 5. So yeah, I have spent a lot of my the last couple days going through those auditions, and fun and amazing as it has been to hear all of those things. I was getting a bit like, is it like repetitive strain on my wrist or whatever, just from using my mouse in the same way to go through them all and stuff. So I decided to start building some of the set. So this is the office room. It's weird because like I know you've already seen the films. You probably know more than I do what it's going to end up looking like. But I decided to use the city texture pack to do the office, just so I can add like some screens, and it just kind of I don't know, fits the modern style a little bit better. So the idea is that the main character will maybe be led down the middle here or whatever. This is the planned room for where the office will be, the interview room. I did like a door lineup because I realized that all of the titles and that were going to be on the door, and all of these doors are a little bit weird and stuff. And in the end, I was between this one and that one. And this one looks really nice, but I think that the texture takes up a bit too much space. Whereas this one with white text on, I think might look really, really nice. And I can have like text the whole way along for the credits. See, I'm just trying to make a believable looking office here. I think I might break down maybe this wall and make a kitchen in the background back there, because often offices have kind of little kitchenette type areas. At the moment I've just been adding in some little offices here. I don't need to add loads of detail. Like a lot of this stuff you're just never going to really see, but I think just spending the time to add a bit more detail just to make the whole area in general look like a believable office just can go a long way. It's the kind of thing where it's like all of these minor details that you think won't matter, and individually if they were taken out wouldn't matter. You know, if I took out that plant and had that as an empty corner, would it make the film any worse? No. But how many of those little tiny details do you take away until it is overall a bigger impact? Huh? The kind of thing I think of. Sorry, I have been going a little bit mad making this video, by the way, if you hadn't noticed. But yeah, I'm going to try and get the set finished off, and then I'm probably going to go back through the auditions, and then I'm going to start working out how I'm going to do the skins and kind of start really nailing down which of the submissions I want to include. My idea at the moment is to get all of my skins, or at least most of them, just offline. Just, you know, like there's websites where people just make skins and then they share them and anyone can use them and they're free. My plan is to use them, but then save the names of everyone's whose skin I've taken and credit them as well, just to really drive home as this was like a giant collaboration where I came up with the concept and filmed it, but then everyone else did the voice acting and everyone else designed the skins and stuff. So I think that's quite a nice way to add into the community, and also just solves a problem because that would get very, very expensive buying all of those skins from the marketplace, and they wouldn't be as specific enough as I need. And if I commissioned them to get made, it would be very expensive. And if I tried making them myself, they would be very bad. So I think this is just a nice way overall to kind of get around multiple problems and kind of come up with something cool overall. So yeah, this is where the actual interview room's going to be. So I'm going to light up the area because the office seems full of bats, and then go and get that built. I've basically finished off the inside of the office now. As you can see, I just added a bunch of decorations, just like flowers on the desks and stuff. Here's a little kitchenette bit that I said, which actually looks quite good because there's quite a lot of like oven-y type stuff and like a microwave and that. You're never going to get like a great view of this stuff, but like this is the interview room here. So you're going to kind of see this view quite a bit. So I wanted like a nice view looking down there. I also made sure that like you're not seeing into these cubicles too much, because obviously like I can't fill these cubicles up with extras the whole time I'm filming. I just don't have enough Minecraft accounts to be able to do that. So maybe on some of the shots where you see the characters walking in at the beginning, maybe I'll add some extras then, but then throughout the most of the film you won't be able to see them. I added in like some offices here just to kind of fill out the area a little bit, and then yeah, here's the interview room itself. It's relatively simple. Like I wanted this just to look like a generic office. I think when you're making a silly film, and this is a silly film, it's very easy to make everything silly. But I think having the more plain background office environment will make these crazy characters that come in stand out even more. Whereas if like, let's do the interview at a bouncy castle, let's go. Like it almost makes the characters fit in more, which makes them less funny. So it's a bit of a bland office, but not too boring, hopefully relatively realistic. So this is where Patrick, who's the interviewer, is going to be sitting, and then everyone else is just going to be on this seat here. This door is where if we need a character to enter, this is where they'll enter from, so it's just kind of a corridor to nowhere, but if you look through, it kind of looks like there's something on the other side. Most of the characters, though, with the fast cuts are just going to be straight sitting down here. This, which is a bell, is actually meant to be in the film a microphone. So I thought it was a pretty good idea. I'm going to have, at some point, Patrick's going to mention, like, oh, just ignore that, that's just a microphone, because people's mic quality is going to be varying. I think if I kind of make it out as if they're speaking into a microphone and have that as part of the plot, will maybe slightly excuse the changing audio quality throughout the film. So originally I did like a lever on the table, but I realized at certain angles it would block them, and so I thought that as kind of a generic microphone works out okay. And then I put a cactus just for a bit of decoration. I wanted something on this big desk to be out of the way. So something that is going to sound super obvious, and you're going to think I'm patronizing you, but this is a mistake that I've made in the past, is think about your camera angles when you're building a set. Don't just build, like, a place that looks good. Like, if you build a lot of Minecraft stuff and you want to make a film, it's very easy just to be like, let's just build an environment that looks good. Don't worry about it being realistic, because you want to make sure that you can have your angles. So, for example, with this desk, you can see it goes quite close to this wall, but I left 2 block gaps here. That means if I need a camera angle which is like this, I can get it. But if this table went to here and was kind of more symmetrical, I wouldn't be able to get that close in. Also, things like the cactus are on this side of the table, because I know all of my filming is generally going to be on this side. Basically, like, if you have 2 characters talking like this, and if I have a shot filming this character like this, and then I go to the other side here, it looks very Okay, let me explain this, because this is something that some of you might not have considered before, but is a very important basic rule for filmmaking. So let's say this is a character here, that's their head, and this is this character here. So if I'm filming them here like this is a pretty standard shot, you can see that they're on the left side of the screen, and they're looking towards the right side of the screen. Okay, and the idea is I leave my space on the right side of the screen, and then you want them talking into the space. If I did them like this, it would look a bit weird, because they're kind of talking to the edge of the frame. Even though it doesn't really make any difference, it's just a little bit strange to watch. And so then I would do the equivalent shot on this side. But if I did this shot here like this, with them looking like from the left side of the screen to the right. And then I did this character like this, also from the left screen to the right. It's just a bit confusing because it almost seems like they're not facing each other. In the same way, if I had a character walking along here like this, and I filmed them from this side, and they're walking from the left to the right, and then on the next shot I film them from this side, even if in the actual set they're walking in the same direction, it almost looks like they're walking back on themselves. So that is something to bear in mind, and so that's why I know that I've decided that this is going to be the side I'm going to be almost always filming. And you can break all of these rules, and if you do a shot directly on like this, the next shot could be like that, or if you do a camera movement, you can pan past. So you can kind of cross the imaginary line. But generally, I know I'm going to be filming on this side, so that's why the cactus is on that side of the table. Because if this cactus was let's say this is here, it could block the view of some of the shots. Why won't it let me grab the flower pot? Okay, take my word for it. They would end up blocking the view for some of the shots. So really think about that. Make sure you have room to do your shots. Make sure you have plenty of lighting. This is the most well-lit part in the whole office. And I know that if I need to, I can break away these walls if I need to get a wider shot. So this is basically the set done. There might be a few minor changes that you will notice between now and the finished film, but it's pretty much at a place where I am happy with it, which means I am going to go back through getting some more auditions, because I'm sure a whole bunch more have come through. It's now drawing towards the end of the next day from my last clip, so I guess day 4 of working on this video, and I have just shut off the submissions. I have set the video private. I won't be making it public again. I don't know how to see exactly how many submissions we got through, but it was a lot. I've picked a winner, and I have emailed the winner to let them know. So I need to make sure, because the person that wins, who gets the job, who's a duck, as it happens, needs to be able to record some extra lines. So before I start writing the script, assuming that they're definitely the winner, I wanted to make sure that they're responsive to emails and would be willing to record some lines that I send them. So once they reply and get back to me, I will write the script assuming that it's them. And I've spent today going through and trying to find different skins. So I've just been searching on like the Skindex and just typing in whatever I want, and there's skins for everything. There's a character that was like a microwave. I typed microwave, and I had multiple choices of microwave Minecraft skins and stuff. So that's actually been really fun and like much easier than I thought. And then all of the clips that I saved, all of the different tiers, C, B, A, and then S, I listened through all of them again, and then the ones that I know I definitely want to use, I have put into a separate folder where I am keeping them organized with the skins, keeping track of everyone's names so I can credit everyone correctly. And then writing a few basic notes, like some of them I'm just going to use a very short clip of, like there's someone who goes like, "I'm a gorilla," and that's probably like all I'm going to use from them, because too much of it might not work so well, because I want some like quite fast paced cutting. I don't think I've mentioned this, but I'm planning to have it to like kind of like quite free-flowing fast jazz music in the background. I think would work really well. We'll see, that might end up changing. So yeah, that's what I've been doing today, and I've now got, so how many have I got? I should have prepared this. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. No, 24, sorry. So I got 24 selected as being ones that are definitely going to be used in the film, which is quite exciting to have all of them there. Let me show you quick, because I talked about how long I've been going through the submissions and how many like hours and hours on end I've been going through them. Let me kind of give you an idea of what that's been like a bit. So imagine you got your email, you click on the email, read what they wrote, download the file, listen to the file. Normally I wouldn't listen through the whole thing, because normally I can judge it pretty early on. And then like back out the file if I need to save the file, name the file and put it in the right place. So imagine like that process, and then how many times I would need to do it for all of these emails. So I'm scrolling up here. So I'm not showing you any of their names or like their emails or anything for obvious reasons. So I'm just scrolling up here so you can just see like the date and the time that it was sent. You can see some of them don't have attachments in. That's because they were asking a question or sent like a Dropbox link and stuff as well. So yeah, hopefully like seeing all of these scroll past gives you a little bit of a better idea of kind of how big the task was. And some of these have been deleted as well, so this isn't even like all of the ones that we got in. But yeah, they were all of the submissions, and maybe that kind of gives you a bit of a better idea of what my last 3 days have entailed. But now comes what is probably going to be the most crucial part for me, is the script, because I need to, like, now I've got those interviews, like each clip I'd say on average is probably about 3 minutes, maybe between 1 and 5 minutes, so I guess 3 minutes the length of the clips that they send me. And of course the whole film is probably going to be at max 15 minutes, so I need to really pick the funniest answers, and not only that, make it make sense, because if Patrick is asking a question, they says, oh, what's your greatest weakness? And then if someone says, oh, my greatest weakness is that I keep falling off my chair. Yeah, if someone says that, then obviously they kind of need the lead in from Patrick. Because if they just say, oh, I keep falling off my chair, people don't understand, like, why are you saying that, you know? And so I need to make it so it's very clear what question everyone's answering without having to have Patrick say, what's your weakness? What's your weakness? What's your weakness? Because if I have to keep saying that again and again and again, it's going to slow it down. It's going to get repetitive. So I need to either like tie in a bunch of them together or just pick answers that like it's very obvious what they're asking. So that's going to be a very tricky thing. So this is going to be the part that's really going to go and make or break this film. So yeah, wish me luck. That's the part I'm going to do now, is a whole bunch of scripting. Okay, I'm now beginning doing the actual editing. So I started off going through the entire script and like basically writing out what everyone was saying and then doing Patrick's lines. Then I realized I was just spending way too long just copying out like these like long lines of dialogue that other people said, which wasn't really needed because they'd already said it. All I needed to do was to listen to it enough to know exactly how Patrick's going to respond. So I've now edited the first chunk. So I'm thinking of splitting the video into 3 sections, music sections. So I've chosen a bunch of songs. I've got 5 potential songs, of which 3 will be for the video and then 1 will be for the credits. Maybe another one for the intro, possibly. But the idea is that by doing it like that, it kind of makes it like almost like listening to an album. Like you hear this song and it's like a bunch of characters that are perfectly like combined together because they work well, kind of sounding together, or they contrast well. And then the breaks, where it'll just be Patrick saying something to himself, or like Bill knocking on the window, basically gives the audience a bit of a break. Because this is going to be a longer Stampy short of about 10 minutes or so, I think if it was just endlessly going with just music or cutting between songs, I think it would just be too much and a bit too overwhelming. So giving Patrick and the viewer a break works well. So yeah, I'm going to go for the opening and the first section to record Patrick's lines, as well as Bill's lines as well, who's his colleague at the office. I want Patrick to be quite soft-spoken, so he's going to be relatively similar to my voice. I want him to have quite a normal voice because I don't want him to like stand out too much. So he's just going to be a bit like, okay, yeah, I'm Patrick. Oh, that's one a bit Irish then. I think it's just because I said Patrick. Hello, my name's Patrick. Okay, so please tell me about myself. So remember, it's his first day on the job as well, so he's not like very confident either. So he's just going to be like probably a slightly higher pitched version of my own voice, and maybe a little bit more uncertain, I guess. Not a confident loud mouth like I am in real life. So right then, I should probably get my microphone. So what you're hearing in this video is not this mic, as you can see. You're hearing this mic, so if it sounds a bit different or not as good as it will in the final film, that's because you are not getting the best mic, I am afraid. Right then. Patrick! I realised Patrick was a really bad name to choose because I got this pop filter, and what this does is it means if I go like, you hear that sounds bad? Oh no, I'm using the wrong mic, aren't I? If you breathe air into the mic, it sounds really bad. So this is just basically something to kind of filter the air through. And most people don't have that. And so when everyone in their videos, they go, Patrick, it goes like, Patrick. It's like, ugh. So maybe I should have chose like James or something. Would have worked better. Anyway. Patrick. Hey, Bill. Hey, Bill. Oh, hey, Bill.
Ready for your first day?
I think so. Thanks again for the opportunity. Right, so this is where I need to start timing it with the music because I've already got it edited with their dialogue and the music. So I just need to make sure it fits in. Right, let's do this. Send the first one in, please. Right, let's do this. Send the first one in, please. Hello, my name's Patrick and I'll be conducting this interview. Please relax, introduce yourself while speaking into the microphone above you. Oh, this might be a long day. Suppose better get started. Right, send in the next one, please. Whew, this might be a long day. Suppose it's best to get started. Right, send the next one in, please. And why did you want to know that? Why do you want to know that? Okay, that's it. His voice went a little bit more comical and high-pitched than I intended, but I don't know. I think it's a different kind of voice than I'm like, I've only got a limited selection of voices. I'm not a voice actor, so I guess that's a voice I haven't really done for any other Stampy short, so we'll stick with it. Right, it's going to be a long progress. Let's get to it. Okay, better get to it. I have now finished filming basically the whole film. The opening, all of the interview sections. It's just basically the ending, which is yet to be filmed. And I have edited about a third of the video. There hasn't actually been like too much to talk about. Like in terms of actually filming this film, it's been relatively simple. I've just been using the camera, using the Poly Reindeer account on the Xbox, and then Squishy has been just signed in playing Patrick, which largely means just kind of sitting in the seat. And then I've been quickly switching between all of the different skins to play every other character. It's very, very quick to switch between the skins, so it's actually not been too difficult. There's even been some characters that like their skin changes halfway through, like this one where I have to quickly change to the crying version of their skin and stuff. But yeah, it's easy. It's just a bit like repetitive, and like there's a lot of times where I'm not entirely sure in the edit exactly which shot I'm going to use. So for every interview, I'm getting like a bunch of footage from this shot and then this shot and then like this angle and this angle and this angle. So it's taken quite a long time, but it's not been too difficult. And then in terms of editing, I've chose my music. The winner, the character Ducky, has replied to me and sent me their audio commentary for the ending of the video. So I basically have everything I need now. So I just need to spend a lot of time editing and then filming the ending. And then there's just a few minor things. Like there's going to be a lot of audio fixing where some people are too quiet, some are too loud, and I'm going to have to spend a lot more time than usual sorting that stuff out. Because usually if it's just me, it's just like my voice, and so it's just very easy to adjust it because like everything's basically the same. Whereas for this, it's absolutely all over the place. And then things like choosing the font for the titles, and then doing the credit sequence and stuff. Things that like people won't really focus on, but can actually take quite a long time. But yeah, I just want to give you a bit of an update with how progress is going. It's coming along nicely, so I guess I'll check back in with you once we have a few more finer details worked out. I have now finally completed the video. So overall, it took about 2 weeks to make, although that was obviously not like 2 weeks continuous working on the video, like 2 weeks time passed while making it. I pretty spent as much time going through submissions as I did doing every other part of it. I think what I've learned is that if I was to do anything else where I crowdsourced part of a video, I'll try and make sure I do it in a much more contained way, so maybe less people hearing about it, or maybe some sort of rating system. I could have maybe done a system where people rate each other's commentary and can mark down whether it's funny, or maybe even if it's just a filter, whether the commentary is like good enough audio quality or something. Basically, I don't think I'll do it in the same way again, but I'm kind of glad that I did do it, and now that it's finished, looking back, I'm kind of proud of it, and also just proud of everyone else. Like one of the nice things is was getting to hear just everyone's nice messages and like reading their messages and emails and all of that kind of stuff, which is something that I probably wouldn't have got anywhere else. And it was just a whole load of fun. It's also a little bit different from my other Stampy shorts in terms of the way we recorded. I didn't really mention this in my last little section of this behind the scenes, but it was all of like their head movements and kind of the turning and the nodding was all done exactly to the dialogue. Whereas in the past, obviously because their mouth doesn't move, you don't have to be very exact. And normally kind of just any sort of head movement while the character's talking is enough. I mean, if you think about it logically, if anyone was actually moving their head that much and like nodding up and down when they're talking, you'd find it really weird. But you kind of need something in Minecraft. And this one I kind of matched it up exactly, which made it a little bit harder to record, but much easier to edit, and I think I'll do that in the future. I'm really happy with the way the credit sequence worked out. I don't know what the thumbnail's going to be. Like, at the moment, I'm thinking it's just going to be the close-up of the door with interview room written on it, which I think works fine, but it's probably a bit boring. I'm always really bad at thumbnails. Like, thumbnails and titles are the most important thing on YouTube, and they're usually, like, the last thing I think of, which isn't very smart in terms of getting people to watch it. So, yeah, I need to come up with something. You have obviously already seen what thumbnail I end up using. So that's kind of like the last thing I have on my to-do list. But apart from that, I just need to kind of watch through it a few more times, maybe work out the audio levels and stuff a little bit more. But apart from that, I am pretty happy with it. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you enjoyed this behind the scenes to see how the video was created. And yeah, stay tuned for more of these Stampy shorts. I have a few more in my head. Some other long projects that are going to take even longer than this, which I'm thinking about. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!